Let's go ahead. Now, Speaker of Parliament, Right Honorable Alban Bagbin, says government alone is incapable of meeting the requirements of communities for ambulances or the hospital-based ambulance service system. Speaking at a conference held at WA to donate an ambulance to the Upper West Regional Hospital, Mr. Bagbin noted that though the provision of the ambulance will augment the existing health delivery system within the community, it cannot meet all the pre-hospital healthcare needs of the community. The Speaker is asking the Ministry of Health to integrate ambulance services into the community healthcare process. Rafiq Salam has more in the following report.
Speaker of Ghana's Parliament, Alban Sumana Kingsford Bagbin, has averred that the provision of the pre-hospital emergency services in Ghana, particularly in the rural communities, is an essential one that requires urgent attention. Alban Bagbin posited that almost every health challenge originate outside of the hospital, originate at home, the workplace, the recreational center, or when one is in transit from one point to the other. He said the ability to speedily transport members of the community who require urgent medical attention from their location to the nearest health center is a crucial factor that determines survival or death for many of us.
Every health worker knows the effect of the 3 Ds to our survival: decision, delay, distance. These things affect us a lot. Many of us take a long time to decide to access health facilities. You are sick and you will not take the decision to go. It's when you can no longer walk that day now you are carried. That delay in taking the decision affects us a lot. Because the health services are far away, how they have to take you there. If there is nothing to take you, and particularly we look at the rural areas and we see how people struggle with other, these days you have the tricycle, you know, how they carry even pregnant people. It's horrible. And people delivering along the way and all those things. We need to work together to improve this, because you all know that God helps those who do what? Who help themselves. And so we need to work together. Wherever, not only in our communities, but also in our workplaces and our recreational center, we need such emergency.
The former health minister opined that effort at nation building and community development are a shared responsibility for all, adding whilst government and state institutions take charge of what is theirs to provide, communities and other significant individuals must also identify their roles and responsibilities in this effort at making life a little more meaningful for all.
The state has proven to be incapable, and that is right. They cannot single-handedly adequately meet the requirements of all communities for ambulances, for hospital-based, other emergency equipment and other services. Hence, my admiration for this very noble gesture of some community members from this region who funded the procurement of the ambulance that has brought all of us here today.
Founder of MIDA Foods, Ransom Khadija, who is the brainchild of the Upper West Region's ambulance project, narrated in detail how the monies were raised and the frustrations in its acquisition.
We raised an amount of 155,500 Ghana cedis as support from 4 sources. Summary of our expenses include getting the ambulance from Italy, 65,000, works and accessories and equipping the ambulance and fixing oxygen installation, 68,249,000 Ghana cedis. Volunteer hours and resources, 30,550 Ghana cedis. It's my prayer that our region takes responsibility of this ambulance, take very good care of it, question its safety if it's seen used for the wrong purpose. This is from people's sacrifices.
Medical Director of the Upper West Regional Hospital, Dr. Robert Amisia, thanked the donors for the support and pledged to use it not only for its intended purpose, but to take very good care of it as well.
If you have one ambulance and it is on its way to Kumasi, and there is another person that has to go to Tamale. You can imagine that you have to wait. We have national ambulances in the system, but they are also busy serving the populations for which they were allocated to. So I think this is a very good opportunity, and I'm very, very happy. I pray for more days like this. I hope before the end of the year, we are gathering here again to receive another donation. And I know this is a hospital for the region, and the people of this region will make sure that this hospital is maintained to serve the purpose for which it was built.
Rafiq Salam's report from Wa.
The Ejisu police in the Ashanti region have arrested 2 women who allegedly assaulted a teacher at the Bisiasi MA Junior High School. The suspect, Alimatu Sadia, and a hairdresser, Kate Sewa, all aged 30, are alleged to have pulled the hair off the teacher and dragged her on the floor in the presence of her students. The attack forced the Ghana Education Service to withdraw teachers from the school, forcing the closure of the facility. Ohim Interior of our security decks has more in the following report.
Drew teachers at the Bisiasi MA Junior High School following the attack on the teacher by parents of a Form 2 male student. This was after the female teacher shaved the hair of the student. Bisiasi MA Junior High School remained closed until Wednesday when teachers returned to the classrooms. The return followed with the arrest of the suspects identified as Alimatu Sadia and Kate Sewa after a meeting with community leaders. Michael Jatin is the public relations officer of the Education Directorate.
This morning, the chief of Bisiasi and some Zongo leaders, they came to meet with management of GES, the director and his management. So we have resolved that starting tomorrow, the teachers will report to school. But we have asked them to produce the culprits so that the law can take its course. The chief promised that he's going to comb the length and breadth of Bisiasi and fish the culprits out. So we trust his words. That is why the director accepted their apology and asked the teachers to go back to school.
Final year students were busily writing their mock exams during the news team's visit. Police sources say the 2 suspects would be arraigned as a mere accomplice is sought after. From Ejisu, for JoyNews, Ohim Interior reporting.
More than 2,000 dogs and cats in rabies endemic communities in the Bosomtwi district of the Ashanti region are benefiting from a free vaccination exercise. The Veterinary Services Department, with the support of students from the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, has been vaccinating pets in the local communities. The Kennel and Chizu Club of Ghana donated 1,400 doses of the vaccine as the first tranche of 5,000 doses aimed at eradicating rabies in some affected districts in the region. Another report by Ohim Interior.
The Ashanti region has recorded 12 fatal rabies deaths, with 8 of them being recorded in the first half of this year. Pet owners defied a downpour on Wednesday to vaccinate their pets. Abuontem, Nkwanta, Dedesuya, Aputuoja, all in the Bosomtwi district are some of the beneficiary communities. Dogs who appeared resistant were all subdued by their respective owners for their vaccination. The free vaccination exercise, courtesy Adamfopa Pet Care, Happy Home, Mainstream Animal Hospital, Shizu Club of Ghana and the Kennel Club, coincided with the World Rabies Day celebrations. President of the Shizu Club of Ghana, Emmanuel Asari, is happy at the gains made so far.
For me and my colleagues, we are excited about it. The fact that we can take action in our own small way and help our communities across the country to get individuals and their individual dogs vaccinated in especially Ashanti region. And what is more refreshing is the fact that this action that we are taking today can in a long way help to keep rabies outbreak in Ghana. We want to set up an NGO, formalize the NGO called 3 for Life, so that we can get more advocacy and education to be thrown all year round. But importantly, going forward, we are looking at partnering key stakeholders like the Veterinary Service Department, so that it will not be a one-time event.
Mr. Asari, who is also Chief Associate at Adamfo Pet Care in Tema Community 2, says more vaccines will be procured for the campaign.
We want a system whereby all year round, people across the country can vaccinate their dogs. We want a situation whereby all year round, people would know that dogs' life matter, just like human lives matter.
Ashanti Regional Veterinary Officer Dr. Mabel Abudu commended the multimedia group for highlighting the plight of pets. According to her, the exercise will be extended to other parts of the region once funding is secured.
I am extremely happy. I'm happy because when the issue came up involving 4 deaths in Ashanti region, everybody was coming to veterinary. What are you people doing? And at a point in time, we were stressed up. So when the media heard of it, especially Joy, Love FM, Media House heard of it, and they came in. And out of that, we have even received support from Kennel Union of Ghana. They've donated vaccines to us. Motivate Ghana has also donated vaccines to us. And then the outcome, the awareness that we created on various platforms has resulted positively today. Rabies menace in Ashanti region, we can talk of so many districts. Asante Achim, Agogo, Obuasi, Ejeso, Bosumchi. So we have certain districts that we really do get a lot of human involvement. The intention was to vaccinate the whole region. So we made a budget towards that. But we've not received any responses.
From Kumasi, for JoyNews, Oimiteria reporting.
Let's now turn our attention to the Central region, where the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital is urging parents who have kids with cancer not to bow to misconceptions about childhood cancers, but seek early medical care at the hospital. According to the hospital, the misconceptions that childhood cancers are caused by witchcraft and spirits, and even through the food that's eaten, make many parents either abandon their kids or throw their hands in despair. Speaking at the 2022 Childhood Cancers Awareness Month at the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital, pediatric oncologists at the hospital asked parents to take advantage of the inclusion of the care on the NHIS and seek early treatment. There's more in this report.
Myths and misconceptions about the cancer that is spiritual, is caused by witchcraft, is caused by the food that we eat, but all of them are not true. But cancer, people get cancer as children also get malaria.
A pediatric oncology nurse at the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital, Kwame Owusu-Ediomi, speaking about many frustrations parents or children with childhood cancers go through.
Childhood cancers are real. Cancer really occurs at the smaller building blocks of the body, that's the cells. And children also get cancer. So we have one of the cancers of the eye, and what you see is your child might have a squint, or there will be bulging eyes, or something like cataract. When you see that, please bring your child as early as possible to the hospital. Then sometimes they have...
He says parents should note some signs in their children and send them to the hospital without delay.
I lost my daughter in 2022, childhood cancer, that is Wilms tumor, yes. And I believe that if it was detected early, we would have been able to save her life. So we have dedicated our lives to actually creating awareness of childhood cancer, helping other families cope with childhood cancer, and also making the world aware that yes, children do get cancer and then they need help.
Jane Williams lost her daughter in 2020 to childhood cancer. Ever since that painful incident, Jane resolved to help children with cancer to be cared for through her foundation, the Viva Texan Foundation.
We are also thankful to the government for including our 4 main cancers on NHIS, that is retinoblastoma, lymphoma, leukemia and then Wilms tumor, that is the kidney cancer. We are grateful that it is on NHIS. So what we are telling parents is that now the cost will not only be on you, the parents, the government is also taking part of it.
Deputy Chief Executive Officer of the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital, Dr. Stephen Lai, is urging parents to support their children who have cancers for them to survive.
And despite all that they are going through, they are still fighting. And they need us to support them. They can survive. Say what? Better survival is achievable through our hands. We shouldn't give up on them. We shouldn't say they are useless cases. It's been a long journey in coming this far, but now we have it on health insurance.
Better survival is achievable is a theme for the Childhood Cancers Awareness Month. Reporting for Joy News, Richard Kwejenyako, Cape Coast.
Some farmers at Fiaso in the Techiman municipality of the Bono East region have slammed the government for failing to compensate them more than 16 months after their 30 acres of farmlands were destroyed to pave way for the construction of a 50 million euro solid waste treatment plant in the area. They are therefore giving government 1 week to intervene and ensure they receive their compensations or they'll reclaim their lands, a move they say would halt the construction of the plant. And Elizabeth has more in the following reports.
The President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, in September 2020 cut short for the construction of an integrated recycling and compost plant at Fiaso, a suburb of Techiman in the Bono East region. The construction of this solid waste treatment plant is, however, under threat 2 years after the salt-cutting event, as affected farmers whose more than 30 acres of farmlands were destroyed are yet to be compensated. Leader of the group, Nana Ahenkan, told JoyNews that 16 months after the commencement of the project, all attempts to get compensation from Zoom Lion has proved futile.
Last year, 2021, bosome enum me bosome nimu. Ena Nana for kurumhene. Ebetwa ayefu ayedu nyina de ma Zoom Lion
last year, our lands were given out to the Zoom Lion Ghana for this project. We didn't hear from them until 4 months later. So I had to call Mr. Manu, who is the director. Because it was keeping long and asked farmers our own profession here, so we wanted to know about our compensations. But he told us to give him some time. We waited and after a year, I reported to the municipal chief executive to inquire from the director why we were not paid yet. Within this same period, they started destroying our farms in an attempt to commence work. The situation, according to the affected farmers, is compounding to their hardships as they currently do not have the financial muscles to afford a new land to embark on their farming activities. It's been 1 year and 4 months and we all don't have a land to farm. Neither do we have money to go for another land. So we are really struggling as all attempts to get our compensations from Zoom Lion has proved futile. Other farmers are preparing their lands for the planting season, and because we don't have money, we can't do the same. Initially, we wanted to stop the construction work, but we were asked not to. We have not heard anything since. All we seek from you is to come to our aid. As a woman, this is the only thing I do, that is sustaining me and my family, and I have nowhere to farm now. So please come to our aid. Abdulmajid Sedi is one of the affected farmers. He tells me that the situation is having a toll on his life as a loan facility he went for to start his farming trade is yet to be paid.
Loan still na pressure and it's not easy for me at all. Now the economy, everybody is aware of what is happening. So in fact, we are going through a lot. As at now that I'm speaking, getting money to go for another land because the yam season is starting next month. But here is the case, we are still here. We don't know where to even get money to start a new yam.
Nana Ahinka and the affected group are, however, giving government and the Zone Lion a week-long ultimatum for a positive response, or they will be tempted to reclaim their lands and stop the construction work.
Yes, Remo. Mama, Zone Lion pay for us on tea. Yes, some every ne.
Kindly get this to the management of Zone Lion. We are giving them a one-week ultimatum. If they don't settle us, we will reclaim our lands because the land still belongs to us. So get this across to them. The construction of this €50 million waste treatment plant, whose timely completion is key to solving the sanitation challenges of the Techima municipality, is currently in limbo until this looming dispute is resolved. Anna Sabit, JoyNews, Fianso.
The Director of Extension Services at the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, Paul Siame, says that the ministry has begun a pilot program to support farmers with information on weather patterns to help their farming activities. The program, which will be in the 5 regions of the north, will register about 1.7 million farmers. Mr. Siame says the data collection will also provide solutions to the major challenges of weather forecast.
Director of Extension Service at the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, Paul Siame, talked of the support to farmers at the stakeholder engagement on climate-smart agricultural solutions organized by Ignatia Tropical Weather Forecasting. The program was to engage stakeholders on digital service in weather forecasting to help farmers avoid adverse impacts of the ever-changing climate. He said the ministry will engage Ignatia and other private agencies in information sharing after the farmers have been registered.
As we speak now, we have in place, or I would say we have invested heavily in picking and putting database on our farmers. We have started the process here in the 5 northern regions because we can only do good or we can execute good plans if we have good targeting. Farmers are our main clients, and as well as the other chain actors along the chain. So you are aware, we have started some work with broad spectrum.
Speaking at the sidelines of the program, Regional Director Africa for Ignatia, Kobna Frimpong, said Ignatia technology provides accurate weather forecast and climate-smart advisory to farmers and agri-businesses to plan better.
For us, that's telling our story. As a company, Ignatia, about 10 years ago, we started by supporting rainfall forecast. How can we use our technology or our experience to be able to give rainfall forecast? But along the line, we have evolved and realized it's not just about telling a farmer or an agribusiness is going to rain or not. So we have evolved and now coming up with more actionable messages which are more geared towards climate-smart agriculture.
Chief Science Officer at Ignatia, Andres Valgren, who spoke on the accuracy Ignatia service and forecast gives, said the company chose Ghana over other West African countries because of the peace and stability. A farmer, Daniel Tamate, who's benefited from the program, said Ignatia Tropical Weather Forecasting has helped him save costs.
So, taking into consideration, when we came in, I was rather saving than losing because the messages were accurate. And as I keep on following the messages, it has improved my agriculture as a business. That's how I tell it. So when you come to my district, that's my nickname.
That'll be all for the news. For more, log on to www.myjoyonline.com. My name is Kwesi Schandorf. Do enjoy the rest of the day. I live in the company of Benjamin Akakpo and Mapito CBD. Stay